Morning, guys. It's Corrupted.
And it's Dragon.
Back with Ramen for the Soul.
We back.
Sorry about last week. The internet went out in the middle of an argument, which is hilarious.
It's all good.
But, because I feel like those arguments are always good for the channel because we get to see, like, what's happening.
That's how you explore concepts and ideas through debate.
That's the easiest way to do it. Or, it's the most constructive way to do it. It's definitely not the easiest way. The easiest way is just to be like, nah, and not engage, you know what I mean?
But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, just like how we say. The only way to explore these ideas through debate. Let us know what y'all think.
Yeah, and if you think Corrupted in particular is stupid with his ideas, let me know. That way I can give him a stern talking to. So we left off in the middle of the Goa Kingdom stuff with Grey Terminal. I think we left off exactly on the filler episode where they're getting geared up to fight the tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And we meet the guy that says he's a what's it called? Like fought Gold Rogers.
Yeah, the old pirate. What was his name?
I don't remember his name, but he does not exist in the manga. Or at least, like, he might show up later in the manga, but he does not show up in the Goa Kingdom arc of the manga at all. It's just an extra thing that they did to make you like Sabo more for when they pull an asshole maneuver. Also, there's another thing we forgot to talk about last week that I thought was interesting, because it's... I think it might be the greatest bit of foreshadowing in the entire series.
What was it?
When they get back right before the Goa, or it's like halfway through the Goan Kingdom flashback in the manga, where it shows Granny Neon talking to what's her name, to Boa, and they're talking in the manga. Granny Neon thinks to herself, but first impelled down, and then Navy headquarters. It's like a dive into a hurricane. Returning alive is something only a god could do. What do the heavens want from that man?
I get
like,
it.
she thinks it about, like, that's got to be, like, the single greatest bit of foreshadowing.
That's a lot, though.
Because it's just so remember, we're going to learn in today's episodes that the will of D is supposed to cause a storm. Like, it's one of the things Law says when he leaves.
Mm-hmm. The will of D is supposed to cause a storm, yeah.
They're, like, destined to cause a storm.
Because this is when we're first learning just how important... Because this was amongst the time I think the D really started to become important in the story.
Well, we're only 2 arcs away from learning more about the D, because Dressrosa, we learn a lot about the
But this is when it first started being emphasized in the beginning, like, the will of D does something to the people with the D, because, you know, Blackbeard's done his thing now, and, you know, we met Law, and of course we all know Luffy.
Yeah,
and then
but we don't know about Law yet.
I mean, technically, right?
Yeah. We skip ahead selectively here.
But Law mentioning it now is a
it
way
means
to
that
bring
he
it
at least
in.
knows about it.
Yeah, there's a way to bring it in, and
what's it called?
Rayleigh said said a little bit too, like a little bit, not a lot.
But it's not like when Rayleigh says it, it sounds more like he's talking about Roger specifically.
Right? Yeah.
Because there's a good chance that that's the only D-Clan member he ever met. Well, no, he technically met Teach, but it wasn't like a what's up, dog. It was just he met a little kid.
Yeah, he met
when with Odin, when they met Odin.
Met a little snot.
Yeah, they met the little snot that never sleeps. So at Goa Kingdom, there's all the stuff with Kid Sabo. Also, I don't know if I told you, but Sabo, when he's an adult, is easily my favorite character now.
I understand. Yeah.
It's just it was the whole like he became obsessed with getting the Mara fruit that made me like him.
Oh yeah.
Like,
the
like wanting a part of your brother that died to stay with you.
But because Sabo's interest to me is still top tier. Like, how, because they really made you. That was a dude you didn't think was coming back. Like, if you watched it and you didn't get spoiled at all, you did not think Sabo was coming back.
What's crazy is it doesn't so much like imply that he's coming back in the anime, but in the manga, they say that they found when they go to Zoro's dojo.
Yeah.
To resupply, because the Kuina's dad is aligned with the Revolutionary Army. We learn in the flashback. They find someone in this ocean, and so but it was cleverly done, said in a clever way, so you don't go, oh, it's definitely Sabo, because there was a lot of people stuck in the ocean to run away from the fire.
Yeah.
So you don't know who it is.
You don't.
So, but they technically say it the day after the fire, so you don't know when they said it, because they're the ones that saved all the people of Great Terminal. But yeah, that in the One Piece TCG, the deck that I'm playing right now is just the deck that's the best at abusing Sabo.
Nah, I thought you was gonna say it was because of the recent episode, because I like his
I don't watch the anime.
Oh yeah, but nah, the recent episode.
Oh, besides for this.
You know that Ace was ranged, really blast heavy. Oh, this Sabo?
No, Sabo's not. Yeah.
He's melee.
Yeah, it's
melee
because Dragon specifically taught him. And so we can assume that Garp, because we know, what's it called? Dragon.
Garp kind of trained him a little bit.
Yeah, Dragon was
a Navy.
I think he was a lieutenant in the Navy.
They didn't
he
say.
Was. I thought he said I thought they called him Lieutenant Dragon and something. I know he's not a peon. He was not a peon.
No, he wasn't.
He was up there.
People were saying that they hope that it comes out that he was an admiral or a runner-up to be admiral in the conversation to be admiral at the very least.
I don't know why I was thinking they said he was like a lieutenant or captain or something.
They didn't release his rank.
But he's clearly stronger than Smoker. We know that much. We know
at this point in time, you can probably infer that Dragon's stronger than probably 80% of the people we've seen.
And if he does have the dragon fruit that people think, or dragon fruit, the devil fruit people think he has, he's probably stronger than the current admirals. So it would make sense.
Anybody that's coming out in the late game, we can already assume that's just very powerful.
Is on
Shanks, how we're just now starting to see his power, and we've seen him do feats that aren't even really comparable to other hockey feats. It's really.
But also, he single-handedly ended the Paramount War.
Yeah, but that's a big one too, because we see
everyone
that
was
was
just
the stuff.
I don't want smoke.
Because that's why you look at Shanks like that, because we see the prowess and the stuff that he's put out. It's almost like apples to oranges to anybody else that's put anything
Another
out.
thing that's crazy is his right-hand man. So his right-hand man threatening Borsellino with a gun was enough to make Borsellino stop fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So
to let you know something, but
and that's just his first mate.
They say that Shanks has the most strongest crew out of everybody,
which
makes sense. I'm starting to see it.
Yeah, it's super ironic though, because he has the weakest fleet.
No, that's the trade-off.
I'm saying that's the iron. His crew's so fucking strong, so everyone else is just there for protection.
You want to talk about irony? Wait till we start talking about Big Mom. That's where the irony starts kicking in.
But what's it called? The whole reason we brought up all that stuff, it makes sense that if he was up under Garp is a master of hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
That he would learn, and he also uses he does this weird palm hand strike with his fingers.
The dragon claw.
Yeah, the dragon claw. He holds his hand like he's doing the Spock symbol.
But he folds him. Yeah.
Yeah. And he
and not just bends him, clenches him into a fist, like a palm. Yeah. No, his hands are down.
I'm used to there's a art for one of the cards. His hands are like this. He's in the middle of dragon claw strike.
That's probably the angle. Yeah.
Yeah. And but you can see that his hands are slightly open, like it's a dragon claw grabbing something.
Yeah, that's probably the angle.
Yeah, but yeah, that's enough about Sabo's dope. But also, you see, as a kid, Sabo was the one that kept them together, because Ace, remember, he was a nihilistic little twerp.
Ace was the lone wolf.
Yeah, he just wanted to burn everything down.
Luffy was trying his hardest to fit in, and Sabo is the dude that was just like the brains and the logic. Like, if we gonna do this, we need to do this. If we need this, we gonna need this.
Well,
like,
it's not just that. He's like, it was him that wanted to save Luffy when Luffy wouldn't talk. Like, he's just like, he hasn't showed. That means Luffy hasn't talked. We need to go save him. And Ace was just like, I guess you're right.
And it was also Sabo was the one that decided to tell Ace to go ahead and just bring him in. Like, stop really excluding him. Like, you saw, because it was like you said, he didn't talk. He stayed there. He didn't tell him where the treasure was. So.
Yeah. And then also, he tries to save all of Grey Terminal when no one else does.
Yeah.
Like, he's like it's like if Luffy is the soul, Ace is, like, if you want to think about it, like.
Ace is the body. And
then Sabo would be the heart.
Yeah.
Like, because he's the one that carries the like.
Luffy
would be Luffy's the most like unbreakable, but
the
like
most like strong-willed. So you would want him in that spirit category.
And then Sabo would be like the heart because he's the one that carries the most out of them. You see there, and it extends to when he's older, when he's an adult.
Yeah.
When he's 19, like you see, or actually no, he's in the time skip. He's like 21, isn't he?
You talking about Ace or Sabo?
Sabo, because he's the same age as Ace.
Nah, he would. Yeah.
In
New World
Dressrosa,
time skip.
Yeah, because he was 19, and then
he should be 21.
Yeah. So,
or 22. I think he was older than Ace.
He might be older than Ace because he has to leave before the other two does, so he doesn't become a full-fledged aristocrat.
Yeah.
So he was gonna leave first because at 17 they become an aristocrat. That's why he wanted to leave before he became an aristocrat. But Sabo tries to save the entirety of the Grey Terminal from a plot to burn it to the ground to be beautiful for the Celestial Dragon coming. Also, you want to know something funny that I learned? Goa is a Portuguese colony in India. It was a Portuguese colony in India. But it also means something in Hebrew.
Which is?
I forgot what it means. I didn't write it down. But it's also a Hebrew word. I thought that was funny. Because remember, going, or however you say it, means genius in Hebrew, which is only like one letter off. Oh, that's right. In certain ways, it means arrogance, depending on how it's written. Gon means which fits fucking perfect, dude. Does it not? Because it's like where Staley becomes king, and it's just a bunch of ignorant arrogant assholes that think because they have money that they're better than everyone else.
What do they call it? High town or high terminal or whatever.
It's Highwalk. Was it? I can't remember. It's they call it something, but I just thought it was very fitting that you can translate it to mean arrogance.
Yeah, high town.
It's just fitting that you can translate the name of the kingdom to mean arrogance, but the greatest people that kingdom produced are like the opposite of arrogant, like Garp, Dragon, Ace, Sabo, Luffy. To an extent, Dodon.
No, definitely Dodon. I mean, no, you can say to an extent because she hated them
because she was
in the
bad
beginning.
Before she had the kids.
Yeah,
before she raised the kids.
When she changed, Jesus.
Yeah, right. She not being a mom changed her.
Oh yeah, and that's that type of change that you support right there because she understood what she needed to be for them in their time, and she owned up to it after she found out and didn't even go back. Even in the time, well, I don't even think we're there yet, but even in the time when they was about to get ready to leave, she really didn't want them to leave. But we are there. We finna start Fishman Island.
Yeah, so what's it called? In the Gohan Kingdom, it happens. Dodon and Ace fight. Blue Jam, who's like the main bad guy of the Goa Kingdom arc, but not really the main bad guy because the main bad guy is the king.
The opening bad guy. Then he just became a fucking.
But he's like a legit threat, and Ace decides to fight him because Ace's whole thing, you find out, is Roger's whole stick. Is that Roger refused to, if he had anyone behind him, he refused to turn around.
Yeah.
Like he would protect everyone to the end. and it's like ingrained in Ace's DNA, which is interesting because he never met his dad.
No,
but he's
so much like him, yet resents him so much.
Which is probably why he hates himself.
Probably so.
Like, cause
that's a good reason for it.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of reason for his nihilism. Doesn't mean you never met the guy, you know, all your life. You following a foot. Technically, him wanting to be a pirate was already set in stone. And then just for him to turn around and literally almost embody his whole way of thinking. And then...
Well, not even thinking, his whole way of existing.
Yeah. And then it's like... The only time he really changed was when he really started coming into his own really like mindset was him deciding to go after Blackbeard because that was his decision.
Well, the thing that made him better though was becoming a big brother.
Oh, of course.
Like the thing
100%.
that made him like I'm not that helps you with this nihilism is when he realizes like he has a responsibility as a big brother. Because remember when he's stuck at Impel Down, he's super nihilistic. But then when he's super nihilistic when he's locked up and everything, when he can't do anything. But as soon as he has the opportunity to protect his brother, his little brother, he's no longer nihilistic. He's just like protect Luffy mode.
Yeah.
Like he just goes into like the flip switches, or the switch flips, and he just like he immediately sacrifices himself to make sure Luffy doesn't die and everything.
Which is, of course. That's a trait of a big brother right there.
Yeah, we learn the threes, like life goal here. They declare the life goal. Sabo wants to free everyone, or at least he wants to feel absolute freedom and to help those around him feel absolute freedom.
Yeah.
Ace wants to become so famous that he eclipsed being stuck under his father's name. And they don't tell us Luffy's. The other two just bust out laughing at him.
Yep.
So, my theory of what it is that he wants to have the greatest adventure ever. Because he says that he has to become king of the pirates to achieve his dream. So it's either surpassing Shanks or becoming king of the pirates.
You got to think of what it is, what's worth keeping quiet, because that's the thing. Like I went the original route I heard it, I thought it had something to do with like, you know, especially when Sabo and them said it, the way they just laugh, it was like, yeah, this has to be something far fetched. Like
it's that only Luffy would want.
But and I'm changed now because when he says it after Wano, which that's where Jenna is right now. When he says it again, a lot of people laugh. However, most of the crew is like bewildered. Like you can really, you trying to do that? Like you trying to do that? Zoro's reactions always gets me. So, yeah, that's something you would do. Yeah, and it's like, you know, I'm hoping it got something to do with like
have you noticed Zoro has like almost the same reaction as Sabo, because Sabo laughs and goes, "That's something only Luffy would want."
Yeah, but I think it got something with uniting all the seas or something like that. Something so far fetched, like something.
Well, if it was united all the seas, though, Sanji's reaction would have been something more. Because remember, that's Sanji's.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's Sanji's dream.
That's true too. I ain't think about that. Yeah, that's very true. I ain't look at that.
Yeah,
it's a lot of possibilities. Just knowing you got to know that him becoming Pirate King is not the final.
Yeah, it's just how he gets there.
Yeah, it's just that's the stepping stone to him doing what he wants to do, and whatever him wanting to do, he got to become Pirate King for. Then again, we don't even really know what being Pirate King constitutes, because the only fool we saw be Pirate King was only Pirate King for a little bit, at least to our eyes.
And also, we don't know like what made him Pirate King, because everyone there got there. So it's not going to the Grand Line. Is it being the captain of the crew that makes it to Laugh Tale?
I mean, I think that's the surface level depiction of it, but I think it's something different. And I think Luffy gonna be the one to show us what it really is.
Yeah, but you get what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, it could be something like Oda's really good at those like weird things at the last second. But Ace and Dawn beat up Blue Jam. They come back. Everyone thinks they're dead at first. Sabo runs away from his parents, steals a fishing trip, and becomes a pirate at like the age of 8.
Yeah.
The Celestial Dragon that's on their way to the Goa Kingdom is just like, why is there a vessel in my ship's wake?
Literally. Yeah, and the thing about it is he moved out of the way. I hate this scene so much because it's like, bruh, this every time they depict celestial dragons, it's like every time.
Well,
they always,
one time.
Well, yeah, only one, but
But he starts off a masterpiece of shit.
Yeah, he got humbled real quick, but every time they depict celestial dragons, for the most part, they always do something new to make you hate them. Just something new, and then they don't even. It's like, we already know y'all a piece of shit, but you took it to an extra little level.
Or it's not necessarily something new, but they come up with a new excuse to do something terrible.
Yeah,
because they do like the same thing. Like they kill somebody that doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, even then, because like what we got, just at the point we are now, we've seen Sabodi Part 1 and how they was just walking.
Yeah, he shot 2 people.
Shot 2 people because they were just
looking
at him.
And then tried to enslave the other one.
Tried to enslave the other one.
Tried to shoot Zoro for walking.
Tried to shoot Zoro for just walking.
Oh, yeah. Remember the dude that he shoots? He doesn't just shoot him because he's walking. He's shooting him because they're rushing him, a guy to the emergency room, and he's one of the guys holding the stretcher.
Yeah.
And he's just like, how dare you walk past me? Pow!
Yeah. And like what, now we're at the point we see this dude just shooting a boat that's passing him, like not even bothering you, just passing you. So now you've gone to just diminishing your cells even more because you didn't even have to do that. And then where's y'all getting these weapons from? Like, what person just hold a freaking bazooka just to shoot?
Remember, it's a rifle that shoots explosive ordinances.
I'm gonna call it a bazooka, but pretty much bazooka rifle.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't shoot cannonballs. It's just a normal. It's like a special rifle, but it explodes.
Bruh,
like we don't even have that shit in real life.
Righteously,
but
the type of stuff that they just do, and like for no reason, and then to see these people of Hightown just throw themselves at them, like they went through all this trouble and burned the whole town to cleanse it of its filth. Just because this one dude was coming, which I get.
It's ironic because they just cleaned the good parts.
Yeah. And they Homer Simpson memed it, pretty much. Y'all, you know what I'm talking about? That, blood on the front, but got all that stuff tied on the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Hightown, but great terminal. Y'all just burnt everybody.
Yeah, wasn't sure when you said Homer Simpson because there's like 4 memes.
Yeah.
That he's synonymous with.
True, there's one, the one he go in the bushes and come back out.
Yeah, and then there's the one where he's strangling.
Yeah. But freaking, you see just the links they go through to try to please these people, and these people really don't care about them. Like in the all grand scheme of things, I think Celestial Dragons show really the symbol of what Luffy's going against in this whole show.
Yeah, the last man.
Really? Facts?
Like, they're just like the anime last man.
Like, wholeheartedly.
So, the Celestial Dragon blows up Sabo. The boys find out Sabo's dead.
Mm-hmm.
It, mentally breaks Luffy. And Ace is just like, you can't be broken by that. You gotta get up. Sabo would be mad if you just acted like this all the time.
Yep.
He's just like, Sabo wouldn't do that when you died. Sabo would live for your name, so you should do the same for Sabo. And it makes Luffy realize he's got stuff he's got to take care of. He's got to complete his mission. He's got to achieve his life dream, so that Sabo's life dream is kind of done too. You know what I mean? He's got to let Sabo's will live on in him, kind of. And then from there, we get Ace leaves.
Yep.
It makes Dodon cry, which is like break down and cry.
Because when you think just how it was, like in the beginning, it's like how far she's come in her character.
What she was trying to be rude about it because she didn't want to cry.
Yep.
And then his message to her is thanks for everything. And then she breaks down and cries, and then it skips to Luffy.
3 years later. Yep.
Skips to Luffy. He finally mastered
Pistol.
And then we don't see it here, but there's a flashback later that he doesn't leave until he masters Gum Gum Axe.
Yeah. The one where
Battle Axe. Yeah, the crescent kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the axe kick. That's why it's called Gum Gum Axe.
Yeah.
Battle Axe. He doesn't actually leave until he's mastered that. And then he says to Dodon, I hate bandits, but I love you guys. And then Dodon breaks down even more than she did with Ace.
Yep.
And then Luffy leaves.
And that's also because, he ain't dropping off a letter. He's saying that and then leaving.
But he's also saying I love you to him.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, you're my favorite bandit in the world. Like, fuck y'all.
In the manga, in the translation of the manga I read is like, it's, I hate bandits, but I love you guys. And then he leaves.
Like, fuck y'all.
But it might have just been, like, I didn't read, I don't think what I read is technically the official translation. So it could have just been like, but.
It's still a good one nonetheless.
Yeah.
But Dodon is literally like in the scene where, Garp shows back up and, he has to tell her or face her. He doesn't really tell her. I think she already knew, but
yeah, she knew. She
face her. Yeah, when he has to face her, and she just like wails on him, dude. Yeah, that was heavy, bro. That was a heavy scene, bro. Like when you really think, because this is at that moment, you really start to look at Garp like, bro, what did you do?
Also, she's not beating him up because she feels bad.
No,
that's the thing that makes it work so well. Because Nakamo, I can't remember how to say your name.
Oh, Makamo.
Yeah. She runs out. She's like, stop. Garp's hurting more than anyone. And Dodon goes, no, Luffy's hurting more than anyone. Because it's Luffy's mom talking, basically, like his adopted mom. She's like, no, Luffy's hurting more than anyone. You were standing right there, and you didn't stop it. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, she's basically like,
nah, that's real.
You let my one adopted son die, and then you let his little brother watch him die.
Yep. Like, it didn't do nothing about it.
And then he talks about how she talks about how Luffy literally worshipped the ground Ace walked on. Mm-hmm. Like, Ace is his favorite person. Literally. Like, all this stuff. Like, she's telling Garp all this. It's like, you weren't there to raise him. You don't know how much Ace meant to your grandson.
Yep.
And so Garp even tells his men, like, don't do anything.
Nope.
Lets her beat the crap out of it. Like in the manga, he's got cuts on his face and he's bleeding. Mm-hmm. It doesn't show it as well in the anime for censorship, but he's got like a cut in his hairline and everything.
That's one good thing though about this One Piece remake.
Yeah, the One Piece.
They ain't playing. They said fuck censorship.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing the hole in Whitebeard's head.
Bruh, I didn't even know Full Body when Sanji caught him did him like that.
Yeah, he beat the fuck out of Full Body.
I didn't even know that when they went and showed that scene about the Wiz Studio.
Yeah, he almost kills him.
Bro, I didn't even know that. Okay. I'm so interested just on that alone, bro. Because you remember, you were there when Dragon Ball had just came out and it was starting to get popular where they had the blood and all that. Then out of nowhere, they just took it away.
Kai came out.
Yeah, the Kai come
Dragon
out
Ball Z
and take all the blood gone. Oh, they putting holes in people. It's just knocking their shirt off.
They made Mr. Popo blue because they thought he was racist, but it turns out that he's based off a Hindu god.
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was
like
funny.
there's a Hindu god of war. I forgot his name. He's like a minor deity, but he looks exactly like Mr. Popo.
I just seen it.
Yeah, but people didn't realize that that's what he was based off of. I can't remember his name.
Now my head hurt. Now I gotta go look.
But he wears the little turban like Mr. Popo and everything. The only difference is he has like crazy teeth.
Mahakala.
Yeah. But everyone thought Mr. Popo was originally a racist caricature, but he's actually not. He's actually based off a Hindu god, because Kami's based off a god too, and that's why he's the attendant to Kami. So they censor shit for no reason is what we're getting at.
Yep.
Studios
I'm just reading
censorship.
an article right now that you just said that they turned them blue because they was viewed as a racist character.
Yeah, but it turns out it has nothing to do with that.
Nothing at all.
It's just he's that because it's a god of war.
Yep.
And he's the attendant to the
Mahakala.
god of the world.
Mahakala.
Yeah. But right after the Dawn beats up Garp, it cuts to Shanks and Marco at the Whitebeard and Ace's funeral.
Yep.
And what's it called? Marco's just like, thanks. It means a lot that you came here. And because he specifically recovered the bodies himself, and you see like the entire Whitebeard's fleets there. Like, look how many people are there in the manga.
Oh wow.
There's like thousands of people in the manga at Whitebeard and Ace's funeral.
Damn. Oh no, yeah, I remember this.
It doesn't like quite show off in the anime.
Yeah, it doesn't quite
But
show,
in the
but
manga,
it shows a little bit.
In the manga, it basically shows a field that's all white, that's split down the middle for room for Shanks and Marco to walk through, and the entire field / island, because it's like an island, and almost all the grass except for like a mountain on the other side of the island is white.
Yep, full.
Yeah, and Ace says to himself while looking at, Shanks says to himself while looking at Ace's headstone. It has Ace's hat on it. He says to himself, like he thinks to himself, Luffy, I know you're in a lot of pain right now. I was surprised to hear what Ace did for you. It's exactly like Captain Roger would do. I wish the captain would run away or let himself cry sometimes. Listen, Luffy, you grow up and become a man and experience victory and defeat by doing difficult things and shedding tears. It's all right. It's all right to cry. Just overcome it. And so if anyone out there is a dude and feels like you can't cry, the strongest person in One Piece says you're allowed to cry if you're going through difficult shit. So
you better cry, mother.
So you're allowed to cry if you need to. You're just not allowed to let the crying stop you.
Exactly.
Just so you know. So the guy that can see 5 minutes into the future says it's cool to cry. So it's cool if you cry.
It's crazy. Even of course, the people who knew Roger, a great deal would tell Ace that he was doing exactly what Roger would have wanted. But he resents him so much that if you would have told him that, he probably would have shot some fire fists at you.
He probably would have shot himself.
That too. But you think about it, you know, how vindicated he was, because it wasn't like it was a bad thing. It wasn't like what he was trying to do was a bad thing. It's just, it goes back to show, even what Marineford showed us, the view, all that matters is how people view you at the end. Because you've seen, they tried to really demonize Whitebeard through all that. It's not even
how other people see you at the end, it's how you see yourself at the end.
Yeah, that's probably the bigger one. But you see, even know it, yeah, because at the end of Ace, what he did something to protect Luffy, which is something he would have done countless times. But he knows he made the same sacrifice technically Shanks did, but except on a grander scale, because Shanks gave his arm up, which at that time it's also plausible.
Have you seen I saw a theory that I really liked about that. He did it because like he knows he doesn't need it to beat everyone. Like the theory is he knew he could beat everyone already. Yeah. So he did it just to show Luffy the consequences for fucking up in the pirate world.
Yeah.
I really like that theory.
I like you said that, because for a long time,
That was the only consequence Luffy ever saw.
Not even that, but think about it. What if him losing the arm was him instrumental in him just, he already knew he could beat everybody, but him getting to an even godlier state, because I want them, and this is just a wish of mine, it's not canon at all, but they would link Zoro in his hockey game losing his eye to Shanks losing his arm in some kind of way to make hockey like stronger. It can be small, it don't have to be big, it don't have to be
it would make
significant,
sense. But it would make sense if the force of will it takes
Right.
to willingly lose a body part, or lose a piece of yourself,
right.
makes the hockey you produce that much stronger, because your force of will. That's how you make Conqueror's hockey stronger. Specifically, Conqueror's hockey, you make it stronger by fortifying your will. So that's why you have to physically become stronger, because it makes your will stronger the stronger you are.
And the only thing I have to further give evidence to my claim is that before Zoro goes to Mihawk, he has 2 eyes. When he leaves Mihawk, he has 1 eye. The only person who could know the benefit of losing something and how it would affect hockey or skill would be Mihawk in talking to Shanks. So that's my only way in headcanon I could have saw. Because Mihawk, you can look at it, it could have been like something like Mihawk could have been like, yo, Zoro comes to Mihawk, says, make me better. Mihawk's like, I can teach you swordsmanship all day under the sun. You can get better.
And also, he says no. Not just because of the monkeys. He's just like, I thought you were the only person that could beat me. It's going to grow to be somebody that could actually challenge me. And then he realizes, like, wait a minute. Zoro's the type of man that would always swallow his pride for somebody else. Mm-hmm. There's something happened.
Exactly. And when you think about it, like, I could see Mihawk being at the point he is in his career, not willing to try something to get his hockey stronger, and then giving that idea to Zoro, and Zoro doing it for his eye.
One thing that I find about the eye thing that you just said, like, he comes back without an eye. The thing that forced Shanks to become the strongest pirate wasn't losing his arm, it was Blackbeard scratching his eye.
True. Very, 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 very true. That's very true. I can't
that's the thing that made him obsessed with mastering observation hockey.
So you want to see that again, yeah.
Yeah, that way because remember when Blackbeard was younger, he had a claw weapon that he used, and that's what made the mark on Shanks' face. But that's the reason that Shanks masters hockey to such a degree, is because of that scratch, the cut Blackbeard gives him. So it could be maybe Mihawk knows that's what happened with Shanks, and so he made Zoro go through that.
I could definitely
he was just Shanks had to wear something to learn hockey, or to realize how important hockey is. Shanks had to lose something important, or had to take a serious injury, so he has a permanent scar on his eye. Also, Blackbeard probably doesn't use hockey because his devil fruit is so strong. It does the same thing as hockey, but better. So it would make sense that would make Shanks be like, I don't want a devil fruit, but I have to be super strong to be able to not make that happen again. Because the implication is young Teach was very strong. Because remember, they wanted Teach to be the commander of the 2nd Division, but he refused to take the position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
So the implication
I know for sure one thing for damn sure, because one thing we probably will end up having to do, especially with the characters that's still in the game, we're going to start counting whose flashbacks we've seen and who we ain't, because Shanks' backstory, when we finally actually get it fully and uncut, I think him and Teach's backstory probably coincides so well that it unravels so much about the power system in hockey, and not even that, but in seeing Shanks' journey himself will probably unravel so many questions about the hockey in itself and just all the stuff that went down. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready to know what happened with between Blackbeard and all that, and you know, his whole plan in detail about what it was he wanted to do and what he actually is. Like, bro, it's gonna be a spectacle. Like, his backstory when Dragon finally gets revealed, like, bro, it's gonna be a spectacle.
We've seen one flashback of Shanks, and it's not even like what you would think. It's like an extra thing, and it's just Shanks as a baby.
Yeah.
Roger finds him on, what's it called? So it's heavily implied that he's Garland, related to Garland somehow.
In some way, yeah.
Yeah. Which, they look identical.
I wouldn't say identical.
When you see young Garland?
No, I definitely see. I see the resemblance, but I wouldn't say identical.
Well, to be fair, almost every character has the same face. Oda just adds something extra to them to make them different. Mm-hmm. Like, there's moments where Luffy and Nami have the same face.
The only qualifying resemblance they have is the red hair.
Besides,
but there's not anyone else in the show with red hair, so it's just that much of a trait.
Or that red hair.
Yeah, red hair. Like, not traditional red. I ain't talking about that. I mean, red hair.
I get that. That's what you're talking about, but I'm just saying it.
Not ginger, but actual blood red hair. Like, that's, no one really in the show has that.
Yeah, the closest one is probably Kid. Like, his is the most red of everybody with ginger hair.
Actually, yeah. Forgot about Kid, bitch ass.
But his is like scarlet red, not candy apple red. Because Shanks is like almost candy apple red.
Yeah. It's like a deep red.
Yeah. Well, there's probably someone in the background of Whole Cake that has a similar shade of hair, and we're not counting them.
Probably so.
Because there's everybody in Whole Cake Island.
It's like so much.
Yeah, there's so much in Whole Cake Island. It's not really fair to use that comparison. After the funeral, it shows Luffy's having a rampage because he wants to die. Like, he wants to wear himself out. Like, he doesn't say he wants to die, but he essentially wants to be left to rampage and then die, basically. And he tries to pick a fight with Jinbei because he's so mad. And Jinbei's just like, you can try it, but in that state, you're never going to be able to beat me. But also, Luffy doesn't know no matter what state, without Haki, he'll never beat Jinbei. Because Jinbei's a master of Haki, so Jinbei could easily just beat his ass. But Luffy swings at him. Jinbei, like judo shoulder throws him, grabs him by the neck, throws him up against a rock, and gives a hard-ass speech. While Luffy's like sulking and trying to hurt him, Jinbei says, "Are you blind to everything now? Where's your confidence that you can overcome anything? What happened to that strength that you never doubted? You've met countless ruthless enemies who can easily crush you and what you believe in. You even lost your brother who was your guide on these seas. A giant wall stands between your eyes and the world. You can't see the way forward right now. Regret and guilt are consuming you. It may be painful for you now, Luffy, but fight it. Don't dwell on what you lost. What's gone is gone forever. Try to remember what you have." And that like snaps Luffy awake, like from this like grief.
What do you still have?
He's just like, my crew.
Yeah. You want to see him? Don't you?
And then he's just like, you know, that Jinbei is a cool dude. I need to ask him to join my crew later when I meet him in Fishman Island. And so...
Did they actually pre that in the manga?
No.
Or was it just that obvious at that point for you?
Well, what's it called? We know that he wants 10 people plus him on the ship.
Yeah, but
in the manga, he starts counting on his fingers, and then when he gets to here, he looks up at Jinbei.
Oh, okay.
Which heavily implies like he wants to ask Jinbei.
I mean, I wouldn't say heavily. You could imply that because at the same moment he's asking him about his crew, and it could easily just him bringing him up. You can infer that, but I won't say heavy.
But it's just heavy. It's hilarious to me that he has to count his crew members on his fingers.
I mean, you think about how many they had grown in such a small amount of time.
No, I get that, but I'm saying, like, because we know who Luffy is as a character,
Yeah.
it's funny that he has to count them on his fingers.
Yeah.
And he's just like...
But no, I definitely agree.
But
But it was
if he
at this.
didn't look up at Jinbei after he's just like, I have my crew, and he says, I have my crew, and he looks at Jinbei, like stares into Jinbei, it just...
You kind of felt it at that moment.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
But also, he does say, like, somewhere before he meets Jinbei again in Fishman Island, it's just like, he tells them, I met this really great Fishman that I would like to join our crew.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do.
So before he asks him, he plans it out.
Yeah, he did plans it out.
It's just, like, he's been thinking about it for 2 years, how to ask Jinbei to join him. So, but it's just a good character moment. He's just like, okay, since I lost my guide to the sea, my new guide is going to be making sure my crew's okay. And then we get a flashback to see, well, it's not really a flashback, but technically it's a flashback because it's happening.
They read it as a flashback for some odd reason.
Like, it happens 3 weeks in the future, but it's technically a flashback, but it's not it's weird canonically. We get to see what everybody's up to on their respective islands.
Yeah, and they get to, they all react to getting
Something in a
news.
newspaper. They all react, and they don't tell us what it is. And then we see Luffy runs back to Marineford, rings the ox bell 16 times. And that's important because every year they're supposed to ring it 8 times for the old year, 8 times for the new year to ring in a new year at Marineford. But Luffy doing it, Kid reads the paper about it and says it's almost like he's claiming this new era as his own.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out he just did that to force them to take his picture while he's there. Because on his arm, he has a tattoo. But it's not really a tattoo. But they call it a tattoo. It says 3D 2Y, and the 3D is crossed out. And that's basically to tell his crew that it's no longer meeting in Sabaody in 3 days. They're going to meet 2 years. And then it shows what the crew does with the knowledge after reading the newspaper. And so Nami stays in Wisteria to learn about the weather to be a better navigator. Nico joins the Revolutionary Army. Or we don't know that she joins. We learn that she learns later.
Yeah, she works with them.
When in Wano, when she has a flashback of Koala and Sabo teaching her how to fight.
Yep, she learned Fishman karate.
Yeah, from what's his name? The dude that uses he uses 1,000 brick Arabesque Fisk in Dressrosa to beat a dude. They teach her how to fight, and then learning how to fight with Nico's powers is kind of broken. Like learning actual martial arts.
All they have to do is let Robin learn armament hockey, and it's over.
Yeah, what's it called? Well, the thing is, armament hockey gets rid of her only weakness.
Yeah.
So it makes sense not to give her
But
armament hockey.
is she, bruh? Yeah.
Because the only weakness of her, the only weakness of the fruit is whatever happens to the hands happens to your hands.
Like, it's an extension of her, so they get hurt
Yeah,
like her.
but if she masters advanced armament hockey,
Still,
there's no downside.
It would still be a downside because still have fatigue and everything. She couldn't do it forever. But
Yeah, she can't do it forever. But
the amount of offense it would give her, the fact she could literally summon a fist from your side and punch you in the kidney.
Just cup check.
Yeah, just straight, and you can't do nothing. Logia? Okay, I don't care.
No, imagine armament hockey, and it uses advanced armament hockey to cup check, and then it would cause testicular torsion plus all the force of it. Dude.
Robin literally having armament hockey is probably the most distraught.
It's one of the most broken down fruit
there isn't, like, she gets Overman Hockey, there isn't a Logia that could go against the Straw Hat crew and just let Robin stand there.
Well, it depends on the Logia, but yeah.
No, any Logia. Because, like, she has hockey. She can hurt them at any point in time.
I'm saying, like,
you know, straight crew versus, like, any multiple of the Straw Hats with Robin there versus somebody in that team fight. If you can't take Robin out of that team fight, it's going to make it very hard for you.
I get that it makes it, but there's like certain Logias that will still
like who?
Well. Anel would work well. Anel's Logia, not necessarily Anel himself, but just like Kizaru.
Work well, but all I'm saying is going to make it hard for you.
Yeah, it make it hard.
There isn't somebody that can fight that could leave Robin there. And if the only person who could, like Anel, who has speed to be able to take someone out in rapid succession, I can get that.
The three admirals could probably deal with it relatively fast. But for the most part, I don't see... Like, Paramecia is, like, really the only way to deal with her. And even then, it's a pain in the ass.
No, she's going to be hard for anybody if she gets hockey.
I will say it's almost impossible for any Zoan to deal with her with advanced armament hockey. Like anyone that actually has to touch her. Because you're never going to touch her.
Get close to her. Yeah. Got to close that distance.
So if you're somebody
that has to melee her, yeah. I can see that.
Maybe Marco can do it. Just because Marco's OP. Yeah, Marco's OP as shit.
Marco can heal himself.
He can heal himself from hockey attacks.
She's not going to be able to put out him enough damage to heal him before he can heal himself from. Yeah, that'd be good.
Chopper on the primitive island. It turns out they're hyper advanced people that are like decades ahead of everyone else, and they have one of the best repository of medical textbooks on the planet.
But they had all those medicine and stuff and medical knowledge and stuff, and Chopper came over and it was like he put all of it to like a crazy amount of use.
Remember they explained that they couldn't use it because they're constantly at war with the birds. But Chopper ended the war with the birds. Yeah. Because it turned out it was just a big misunderstanding with the birds.
And then they end up becoming... That was one of my favorite destinations because it's like, bro, it was Chopper's outcome that made you look at every other outcome. It's like, bro, this dude really sent these people to places where they can really, like, change it.
Yeah, he sent them to the perfect place for each of them to grow as a person.
Yeah, and make a significant change because it's like, you look at Chopper, he significantly changed, like, that whole... like status of that island, you know.
He saved the island.
Nami sending her there, it only made sense because she's a navigator.
The big question is, was he trying to send her to Wisteria?
Yeah, he did.
No. What I'm saying, because it's constantly moving for Kuma's powder work. He needs to know its coordinates.
Yeah, he's been there.
But I get that he's been there. But I wonder how he knew exactly where Wisteria was at the moment.
You know how his power works? Do you know how Kuma's power works? He can send you any place he's been. Period, point blank. So if he's been there, he can send you there, no matter where it is. I think it got something to do with his paw power. I don't know if they've explained it deeply, but they've said that.
Like, I get that he can go to any coordinates he's ever been to. I didn't realize, because they don't explain it very well. Like, they straight up say, if there's an exact coordinate that he's been to, he can go there all the time whenever he wants. I understood that part. But if he can send them, it's the place. So if the place moves,
like he could probably still send Zoe.
Yeah, I'm curious if he could still
like go
to
Zoe. It wouldn't matter if Zoe moves.
Can he show? Because the reason he's been on Thriller Bark, why didn't he just teleport on Thriller Bark?
What do you mean? They never explicitly said how he got to Thriller Bark.
That's what I was saying. Like,
he's just showed up there. Like,
well, he walks off a ship, so we don't know if he was on that ship or that was one of the ships stocked there or what. But you know what I mean. So, but she goes there to learn about weather, and she tricks them into thinking that it's just so she knows how to navigate the weather better. No, she's there to make war crime weapons. That's what she does. She makes a war crime weapon. Because I'm pretty sure shooting people with lightning would be a war crime.
I don't know how his theory works.
Well, you're not supposed to use a flamethrower on people. So it's kind of the same thing with lightning. They're both plasma. So she creates war crime weapons. Usopp is in the worst place, in my opinion. Well, actually, that's a hard one because I just don't like bugs. So he's on a giant like Venus flytrap.
Everything in there is trying to kill you, even the fucking plants.
But also, that's like what he needed, though. Yeah. Which is like,
of course.
I don't know if that's worse or Kamabaka Kingdom's worse, because Kamabaka Kingdom's gotta suck ass too.
They gotta suck ass too, but at least he
just because they're so fucking annoying.
Of course.
Like, just like, oh my god, they're so annoying. Like, they won't leave you alone, and they're trying to force you to be a cross-dresser. Like, I do like the entire reason, though, that Kuma probably sent him there. It's just like, that dude looks like a chef. He's smoking a cigarette. He looks like he works in the back of the house.
I mean, it gets told later that he was pretty much watching the Straw Hats the whole time, so he knew all of them.
But I love that he sends him there, and you think it's just to get stronger, but no, it's to have Iva teach him his special recipes. What are they called? Vitamills or whatever?
Yeah, Vitamills.
In the manga, they're called muscle mills, which I think is even better name. It's an interesting power up though.
Yeah, no, it is.
He basically learned protein powder.
Yeah, and then so happens to learn a better version of like moonwalk. And on his own, like without help, just from running away.
Yeah, he's running away so much that he learns moonwalk. Because remember, he learned moonwalk and shave from watching them do it, watching the other people do it. I think he learns it in his fight with the wolf guy.
Talking about Jabari?
Yeah, I believe in like mid-fight, he's just like, wait a second.
Yeah, he did it a little bit, yeah. But, you're right. He did. Yeah, he did it then.
But also, it makes sense that his would be even better because he spent so much time on the beach. In the beach, it sucks to walk on. So it makes sense that in the manga, he calls it blue walk. So it makes sense that he learned to walk on water.
You think about just how funny it is that you was running away from these people so much that you got to a point where you're like, I'm not going to just run away no more. I'm going to run in the sky away. Like, that's just funny. That's just funny. Like, you got to really not want to be next to somebody to just freaking sprout the power to kick
the air.
But also,
it's more impressive than that because when they're in the water, he moves faster than fishmen in water. The manga, they say, wow, he's even faster than fishmen. Remember, they fought a lot of fishmen, so they know how fast fishmen are. Mm-hmm. Like, the first big bad of the entire show is a fishman.
Well, yeah.
The first real big bad. But, like, so, it's like they all go to the place they need to, and then, what's it called? Zoro gets sent to Monkey Kingdom. That happens to be where Mihawk is. Also, you know what's weird? In the official color manga, like it's the official coloration of stuff, Mihawk's eyes are red. Mm-hmm. But in the anime, a lot of the anime, they're yellow. Yeah, to look like Hawkeye's. Yeah. But the red works so much better because he's based off of vampire. Like his aesthetic is a vampire aesthetic. And so having red eyes fits. He's also... The vampire guy in the one shot is who Dracula Mihawk is based off of. Mm-hmm. That dude's a vampire. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that his eyes are red, not yellow. It's just a nice touch that I hate that the anime changed.
I actually, it's one of the ones that if they would have kept it, you would have had to do, because like there's only
it does make him seem like a bad guy.
There's only one other person. You know who has those eyes now, right? Emu has those.
I haven't seen Emu's eyes colored.
Yeah, Emu's eyes are that. What you're describing, that's what Emu's eyes are. So I think that's why they took it out in order to
remember,
not.
Emu did exist when the first time Dracula Mihawk showed up.
To you and us. He didn't exist. We don't know how long it existed to Oda.
What's it called? Probably didn't exist at that point to Oda. Because when...
Can't say that.
No, the reason why I say that... Like, Emu might have always been the planned big bad.
Yeah.
but there's a chance he wasn't. Because remember, originally One Piece was only... I get that I'm speculating. But One Piece was only supposed to go 5 years. Mihawk shows up in the first year.
Yeah, but just because, like, that's, again, speculating. Because just because One Piece was only supposed to go 5 years, you don't know where his story was supposed to go and where Emu was supposed to show up if he wasn't. That's like saying if Naruto was playing for 3 years, but you never expected Pain to show up. It's not a matter of if he show up, it's a matter of when.
Well, we knew Pain was going to show up because Pain's name drop in, like, the second year.
But, like, this story is, like...
So, this is still speculation. But there was the leak of how it was supposed to end originally, like, before he came up with the 4 emperors and stuff, and Emu wasn't part of the leak. But it's also a leak. Huh?
What are you talking about?
There's a leak of, like, how the original One Piece was supposed to end. We don't know if it's real or not.
The only leak to have ever come out that I've seen, I will say, talking about the end of One Piece was supposed to be Oda telling the cancer kid the ending. That's the only thing that was proved to be fake.
Yeah, no, what I'm talking about is there was a guy that worked for, I think it was Shonen Jump, and he, like, anonymously leaked the original ending of One Piece, but nobody can prove it's fake or not, and Oda has gone out of his way not to talk about it. It was a couple years ago, maybe even several years ago.
Oda also came out and said that he doesn't care who speculates what or who does what. He's not going to change the story if somebody guesses if it's right.
Yeah, which I wouldn't either, because he carefully crafted it. But if that leak was true, it's not how it's going to end now, obviously.
All I'm saying, in order to go back to the original idea, was the only reason I can see them taking the eyes out and giving to someone else is giving them the Emu. And that's the only change that I can hope for, that it is. Like that's the only draw that I can compare to why he doesn't have that same design anymore, is that they took those eye design and gave it to the main.
But there's also a chance that because, so with the Mihawk stuff, is that we didn't know Mihawk's true eye color until they started doing the colored stuff, right?
I mean,
what I'm saying though, the colored stuff didn't start until much later into the run, when he probably came up with Emu.
So are you saying that he only colors his stuff when they come out, not coloring them in drafts like most artists do?
No, I'll say the released version
of the final version of the colors.
Yeah. It could have been, Emu could have existed first, and also they could have just picked yellow as the eye color because they didn't know what color Mihawk's eyes were, and yellow fits because his name is Mihawk, and the animation studio.
Is Hawkeye.
Yeah, but also it could have been that the animation studio didn't do their due diligence to know that he's based off another character that Oda made way before One Piece came out. That's my assumption, that they didn't do their due diligence. Because companies have been caught like that before, like looking at the people that made Tokyo Ghoul.
But I don't
what the fuck was season 3?
But I don't think that Oda and how much attention that he's been putting into things that aren't like his primary work, the amount of attention and approval he's putting in, I don't think he would have let that slide.
But also, like at the time, he might not have had the pull.
Like the one mishap that happened in the manga recently was Noshijuro shown to have a hilted sword in one frame in the same fight, then it changed into a non-hilted sword in one of the other fights. So I hope they change that.
But also, there's a bunch of time, or I can think of one other time in the anime where they didn't know something, so they just guessed.
Yeah, no, they definitely did.
The eye thing could just, like, yellow eyes makes the most sense for a dude whose nickname is Mihawk or Hawkeye. It's in Wano when what's his name, Basil Hawkins, makes the guess, like he's doing the prediction. The anime gets it wrong, and they assume that he's talking about Luffy or Drake. I can't remember which one.
No, they go back and fix that though.
But it was just because they didn't know, because he didn't tell.
I mean, but they go back and fix it. Like when he first did that when they go back and they fix it, they tell us, say, "Oh, I thought you was really talking about Straw Hats," and I was talking about myself, and then he dies.
But you get what, like, it was originally.
But I mean, they fixed it. I wouldn't say anything if it's not fixed. That's when we point it out. They go back and fix it. You can't say nothing about it. Because anybody new coming in, you would have to tell them that in order for them to know that. And why would you tell them that? Are you trying to make them hate the show? No. Because the fact that they went back and fixed it means they care about the time and what's been put into it. They left it. Like, for instance, JJK. For JJK, when they did the Maharaga versus Sukuna, they came back and dropped the original that they were going to put out to show us what they were going to do. And it's like, hey, we get it.
But I wonder if they're going to do the finger mistake that Gege kept doing. But, yeah. But it's just Mihawk. With the Mihawk, we talked about it earlier a little bit. But you wouldn't think Mihawk would help him. But Mihawk's just like, wait a minute, he's willing to put his pride aside for somebody else.
And that's a big deal.
Maybe he is worth me training. And Mihawk's training probably is tough as fuck. Just because, like...
God level. I mean, he himself is already the type of individual to really not have much patience with you. So I imagine training with him, that patience probably goes low. It's like, bro, I already know how to do this. I'm telling you how to do it, but you better figure this out. Because I imagine, because, you know, he left Zoro out there with the monkeys. He left him out there.
Also, originally, he thought Zoro couldn't beat the monkeys, so he was coming back to ask for help. But no, Zoro faded all the monkeys and was just like, nah, I got a thing from my captain telling me to stay where I am and get stronger. So, you mind training me some, boyo, big boss man, my guy?
Boss man DeBayo.
That's basically what he did because he kowtowed, and that's what kowtow technically means. So he bowed down to him. So that's my headcanon of what happened. And then, what's his name? Frankie ends up accidentally starting a legend.
Pretty much.
Of the flaming cyborg tiger beast.
Yeah.
That apparently spreads to the entire world. But Frankie blows his face up on accident because he presses a button that he thinks is a pirate button instead of the self-destruct button, which to me is funny, that idea. But he's just like, okay, Luffy wants me to stay here, so I'm just going to play with all of Vegapunk's designs in his original lab. There's no way this isn't going to turn out horribly for my enemies.
And now I think about it, you really see in the Straw Hats here of who's really was trying to get back and who was like not that worried to begin with. Because Nami, Chopper, and even I guess you could say Usopp, they were like, of course they didn't make any headway in their own little place where they were, except Chopper. Chopper was out of there. Chopper was gone. He had turned back around.
Yeah, it shows up as Chopper mask. It's like, my buddy Chopper told me to come here and help y'all. They're just like, what is Raccoon Dog talking about? Because that's how they talk. And it's just like, what does Raccoon Dog mean?
Like,
we know it's
literally,
him. We know
like Chopper was out of there. He was finna come back. And they was like, okay, he said don't come back. 3D2, all right, we're going to sit for 2 years. I'm going to sit for 2 years. Okay, I can come help y'all now.
I love the fact, like, he accidentally says what he's thinking out loud. He's like, I judge these villagers thinking they were stupid, but their weapons are super advanced. The guy's just like, Raccoon Dog, no, he talking out loud.
Yeah.
That first thing he said was kind of rude. That cracked me up when he said that. And they talk like that, guys. Like, I'm not making fun of anybody. They legitimately talk like that.
I hope anyone watching this podcast has watched One Piece enough to know that they talk like that.
Well, they might have just read it. And they might not know.
Doesn't it read like that?
Not the accent.
I mean, of course not the accent, but...
Yeah, it's like chopped up like super basic.
No matter
English.
which way if you read that out loud, you probably going to sound just like that.
You're going to sound pretty damn close.
Yeah, like... So if you can't
like
put two and two together like that, come on.
That's all the Straw Hats, right? I'm not. Yeah, Jinbei hasn't joined yet.
Yeah, Jinbei joined. We already talked about Brooke.
Oh yeah, Brooke. Brooke gets enslaved.
Pretty much. You know, he actually was they say he was a foreshadow for the Gorosei in their entrance. Brook's entrance and how he came in through a summoning pentagram circle, just like the
That just
Gorosei.
makes my Shadim theory sound even better.
Of course.
Because remember, they actually summoned a Shadim, not a demon. They used the word demon, but they actually summoned a Shadim because they summoned Lucifer. And Lucifer, they think they're summoning Lucifer.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucifer existed before, like, traditional demons, so it technically would have been a Shadim. But, yeah. He beats the crap out of the Long Guard tribe. And I love that the village is called, like, Lazy Bones Village. He beats up the Long Guard guys to protect the people, the Lazy Bones people. And then the Long Arm tribe's just like, please don't kill us. We'll do anything. We've learned our lesson. And then he's just like, yeah, okay, here you go. You can go free. Just promise not to do anything again or I'll eat your soul. And then they kidnap Brook. Brook, it was made into a circus attraction. He learns about 3D2Y. And then he becomes Soul King Brook, the most popular musical artist in the world. Hell yeah, brother. And then we cut to Riley swimming ashore. Well, technically he doesn't swim ashore yet. Beppo, Law, and what are the twins' names?
Oh, I
can't think of the name. One wears a penguin hat, one wears another hat. I can't think of their name right now. But there's like, holy crap, that giant Neptunian just died. Or that Sea King just died. You think it was a Neptunian. And Neptunians are just bigger Sea Kings. And bigger than normal Sea Kings. And you see Rayleigh get out the water. And he's just like, sorry, my boat sank in a storm. So I had to swim here. And Beppo's just like, wait, this is a calm belt. Did you swim from another region? Which is ironic because Beppo has to do that later. But that doesn't matter for now. But they do Rayleigh shows up. And he's just like, hey, Luffy, I know you want to get stronger. I'm going to take you to this island for 2 years and train you on how to use hockey for real. Since he doesn't say it out loud, but he's like, you remind me of Roger. So I want to train you. And then he was just like, heck yeah, let's do it. Oh, man, I got to sneeze, but I couldn't. So they go to the I forgot the name of the island, but it's the island next to Amazon Lily.
Yeah.
But it's completely deserted. There's no people living there, but all the animals there are fucking giant. And Rayleigh starts explaining some of the stuff to him. Rayleigh's like, the first one is observation hockey. Dodges the elephant. And then he's like, armament hockey. Stops the elephant from stomping on him. Puts a hand up, the elephant stops. And then he's just like, the third one, which not everyone has, but you have it, I have it. It's called Conqueror's hockey. And the elephant just falls over. And Luffy's just like, awesome. And Rayleigh's just like, what, do you respect me even more now? And Luffy's just like, yup. I love that. He's like, yeah, why wouldn't I? And then it's like, we're going to spend the next 2 years literally beating these concepts into your skull. And then he's like, okay. And then there's a really good character moment. He says 1 second, and he takes his hat off, and he's like, it's time to give the hat a rest. Because for the 2 years, he's not a pirate.
Yep.
So he just puts it down on the thing. Also, a special thing about that island, why I really chose that island, is because it changes its seasons every week. So it has 48 seasons a year. Mm-hmm. So it may. Do they have 4 weeks less a year than us?
Mm-hmm. I told you that they were different.
Yeah, but it is like one of the things that made me question it. But so they.
But you gotta realize all
it ends. Yeah. Also, their world is bigger Like, we got confirmation at SBS.
And all those islands work differently. Got their own, like, forecasts and stuff that work individually with each other.
But he puts the hat down, and he's just like, I'm coming, Rayleigh. And Rayleigh's just like, maybe you should call me Teacher Rayleigh or Master Rayleigh. And he's just like,
kick out of that.
Yeah. Because he says, coming old man Rayleigh, and he's just like, you can't call me old man Rayleigh anymore.
You gotta put some respect on that name.
And then the next episode / chapter starts with Luffy grabbing his hat and putting it on.
Yeah.
Well, his hat's covered in snow. He picks it up, puts it on.
It implies that he had left it there for a long time.
Yeah, that he didn't touch it.
And his voice, in the anime, his voice sounds different too at that moment, which was a good touch.
And then he meets Boa, and the rest of the Kuja pirates are there to say, hey, give him a bunch of food. And it's just like, time to go to Sabaody. And you find out Rayleigh left him there 6 months ago to fend for himself, to get even better at hockey, since he taught him the basics. And then it cuts to showing all the other Straw Hats showing up at Sabaody. There's this guy, I forgot his name because he doesn't matter.
The Malo Black.
That guy's name.
I'll never forget his name.
He's pretended to be Luffy because he's a small timer that wants a bunch of people up under his control.
He just want the fame, man. He don't wanna go shoot in his lobby and go through Impel Down to get it. He just gonna take the dude that ain't been around for 2 years fame because he don't want it, or so he thought.
He wanted it until Kuma showed up, or Sentomaru showed up. So basically, we just see how all the Straw Hats changed over the years. Magically, Zoro's the first one to make it back. Even Zoro doesn't know how it happens. It's funny, though, because he keeps holding it over Sanji. He's like, oh, why is number 1 being chastised by number 7? I love that. He's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Also, going back to Monkey Kingdom, I forgot I have it written up here. Mihawk says that the reason that the monkeys were so violent was because Monkey Kingdom was locked in war for years.
Yeah.
But the war ended 700 years ago. So I wonder if what happened in Monkey Kingdom was part of the Great War from the Void Century.
That's plausible.
It's plausible, yeah. It's just an offhand thing Mihawk said. Because it would make sense if there is like a hyper advanced group of monkeys there. Like, especially if it's like the Ancient Kingdom. Because the Ancient Kingdom was even more advanced than Vegapunk. So it's just something I thought was an interesting idea. We see them, how they all interact when they're back. Frankie looks like a mecha now, which Luffy thinks is awesome. So does Usopp and Chopper. Chopper doesn't realize that the people pretending to be the Straw Hats aren't actually the Straw Hats. He's just like, wow, y'all guys changed a lot.
Yeah, he just assumed that they changed a lot. But I think that just shows Chaliber's gullibility because everyone else was calling them Straw Hats and he just went with it.
But it's funny that even the CP fell for it because they're just like, she looks exactly like Nico Robin, and CP agents kidnapped the fake Robin. Mm-hmm. But the thing that's hilarious is the fake Robin is like 1.5 feet shorter than Robin. Because Robin's taller than Luffy. So it was hilarious. She tries to get Chopper to stay with her by handing Chopper a cucumber, which I thought was funny. But yeah, this fake Straw Hat. Even Luffy falls for this fake Straw Hat when Sanji and Zoro. But it's funny because Luffy runs into the fake Straw Hat, and the fake Straw Hat tries to shoot him. He just dodges the bullet, which I don't know why he dodged the bullet. He didn't have to dodge the bullet. He's bulletproof.
I mean, you know, bullet can still hurt him with the imbue of a hockey. I guess that was just him taking a measure, using his own hockey. He's at that point now.
Well, I guess the argument could be that his observation hockey is not good enough to tell if it was hockey imbued or not yet.
Yeah, but also you think about it like he's gotten smarter. He's like, why let something hit me on the assume that I can stop it when I can just as easily dodge it?
The big thing is also, I think the other reason is the plot reason, is because everyone would know Luffy's rubbery. So if the bullet hit him,
Well, I mean, of course,
it would give away that they're not the real Straw Hats.
which means that Luffy actually listened and told him not to let them give himself up, and he was just using hockey instead. So really,
but it was just really to show off his observation hockey. But there's also like a couple extra things.
The whole Fishman Island is nothing but them showing off their new powers.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not mad when people say, "Oh, Horty's such a bad design," because he wasn't meant to be good. He wasn't supposed to be a dude that was supposed to give Luffy
my whole
trouble.
problem with it is that everyone just looks over the fact that Vanderdecken is a pedophile.
I mean, I don't think people overlook it.
No, I'm talking about the people on, like the characters in the show.
I mean, I don't think they abide by our same concepts.
I get that, but he tries to fuck
you
like
do
a
know,
6-year-old
like,
kid.
pedophilia is like that's a Western concept for the most part. It is.
Well,
for the most part, because age of consent's smaller over there.
Well, it's not just that. Remember when he first sees Shirahoshi's like 6.
Yeah. No, you're right. But that goes back to I tell you that they don't abide by the same standards that we do. That's all that is.
Most things worldwide were just like not little kids. Like worldwide, it was still frowned upon.
Like, but no, because you got to realize what they're talking about, which is what I'm gonna go about. Because I don't have that mind.
States.
No, he was trying to get it arranged for her to be married to him. That's the way I was going about it. But
the
he's still at the end.
He fell in love with her.
Yeah, he's still in that thing. But I'm gonna go with the mind that I have that he was trying to get it arranged. Now, as far as what anyone else want to go for, y'all are very welcome to do that. If you want to say that he was infatuated at that point, hey, go that route if you want to go that route. I'm not gonna stop you, but I'm gonna say that he wanted to be he knew then at 9 years old when she met her that he wanted to be arranged to marry her. I'm not going no deeper than that.
No, he wasn't 9. He was an adult.
I'm talking about her when she was like 6, 9, whatever it was.
She was 6.
Whatever it was.
She's 16.
I'm not gonna go no deeper than he wanted to be arranged to marry to her. I'm not gonna go no deeper than that. Because we in cultures we've seen in movies and cultures that they be getting arranged like that at young ages, prior to them becoming of age.
Yeah,
so.
But I will say something that some people might sound controversial, and this is going to be the podcast official stance on this. I think the cure to pedophilia is a bullet.
You're not the first person to say that.
I know I'm not.
And
but
people said way worse.
That's why I don't like Vanderdeck. I'm just letting it know why that I didn't like the arc.
Jeez.
That way when people say something later.
You don't have to, but that's the thing though. Like, you can keep your own personal hatreds out of this though. Like, you don't have to
keep it out of the analysis.
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about like I get it. Like, you can not like Vanderdecken and all that, but it's like, it's okay. It's not that huge of a deal. Like, it's just a piece of fake fiction. It's not like it.
Yeah,
it needs to have like the stoic of ability and all that. Like, no, it's just art. It's just for interpretation. Don't interpret it negatively.
Well, like it's not so much interpreted negatively. Like, also, like, a lot of the writing, and I don't like, but Vanderdecken, like, put it over the edge.
No, Vanderdecken sucks. Like, I'll tell you 100%
even like, his writing as a character, but it just made it me.
But him, like, that's, like, him liking Shirahoshi at a young age was very much so not, like, it could be top 10, money. But it definitely ain't number 1 through 5. Like, Vanderdecken sucks, like, overall, as a character, but...
What's weird is I still hate Foxy more.
No, that's understandable. That's actually quite understandable. Like,
but yeah. Besides that, but yeah, they go to Sabaody. They get back. Everybody meets up. Oda gets a chance to show off how much they've improved, because a very nice touch is Sentomaru takes the exact same 2 pacifistas he takes 4 and 7 with him, which are the ones that they fought at Sabaody originally, that they barely beat the first one, and then the second one beat them. He brought those ones specifically with him to fight the fake Straw Hats, but he didn't know they were the fake Straw Hats. And Luffy and Zoro and Sanji one-shot all of them. One shot, but just to show that it took everything for them to beat one. Now Luffy's jet pistol one-shots it. It just shows, like, we know that they're considerably weaker than the normal Kuma, because Kuma's OP as shit. Like, we actually see how strong Kuma is. He fights like 3 wars. We'll see in a few minutes. He fights like 3 wars over them. But it's just it's a clever way for Oda, because he specifically takes the ones that kicked their ass last time.
And it's really just, all he did was just draw past Feast and put those exact same numbers on it, which is a good detail.
And Sentomaru goes out of his way to say their strength hasn't increased. They just got fixed from their injuries from Paramount War. That's it. That's the only thing that has changed since they fought them. Their strength settings and everything are still the same.
I mean, Luffy learned hockey. Yeah.
He doesn't even hit him. If I remember correctly, I don't think he hits him with hockey.
They called it hockey.
Oh, they did? Yeah. It just doesn't look like his arms.
Because, as soon as he punches, Luffy does the big punch and makes that crater. Sentomaru's like, the hell you learn hockey?
Also, another thing,
knows hockey now?
Apparently, all the hockey colors are just for us.
Yeah.
Which means Gear 4 looks hilarious. So it makes sense why Doflamingo laughed at him.
Yeah. He's just a bounce man.
Yeah. But I just think it's funny. I think it should be that you see it look black.
I would like it, but
it's okay. Like, not the aura around it. That makes sense that doesn't make a color. But I wish that when they activate Armament Hockey, their hand actually turns black, because it looks hard as fuck.
Just like how I wish that Demon Slayer actually produced the elements instead of just being visual.
Yeah, but that would make it so much more OP, but I get it.
I like it, though.
Yeah. Let them be OP.
Because the thing about it is already like, just let them be OP. They're already going against something they already been in freaking space and stuff for the demons, so why not? Because then it don't make sense why you can beat somebody like Muzan if you can't do something extra ordinary like that.
It's called jumping him. That's the only way to beat him.
The art of these hands.
But after that, they the Straw Hats get on their ship, and Luffy says, "Thanks to Riley, I'm gonna become king of the pirates." And Rayleigh says, well, first off, it brings tears to Rayleigh's eyes. Like, Rayleigh starts to cry a little bit,
sobbing uncontrollably, almost.
And he has a flashback of the first time he met Roger, and he says he's talking to Shaky, and he tells Shaky that boy's definitely earned the hat, which is a nice touch. So it makes it sound like Rayleigh, the entire thing was he thought he was similar to Roger, and then once he put the hat down, it was just like, I gotta leave that there. He was just like, okay, this boy might just be Roger again. It's a nice touch. It's a nice character moment. And then while Rayleigh wipes his eyes, the tears out of his eyes, and in the manga you get a better look at it. Shaky turns to look at him while he's talking, and he reminisces about meeting Roger, because him and Roger were best friends. So, and he says, seeing a man like him makes it worth living a little bit longer to see what he can do. And then Shaki just stares at him while he says it, and it's just a good moment, because it's like, he's like, I got a little bit more to live for, because Rayleigh's in his 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all just dirt. We really sit there and think about it, because it's like him.
Or he might be in his 60s.
Any remnants of like Roger's old crew that's still there is like, you know,
They're all
him
in their
saying
60s,
stuff
70s.
like, you know, it might be worth living a little bit longer. You think about all the stuff they've lived through, and it's like, damn, you want to see all that again? But all that? But
and he's happy too. Is it like because he's not crying because he's sad?
No.
He's crying because he's happy.
No.
He's crying because he got to lead the new generation.
And it's crazy that you mention that because it's like especially going forward, like this is how we see Rayleigh every time going forward. Yeah. Chilling, drinking, drunk as hell, talking about the new era going forward. And it's reminiscent because you would think that him doing all that, he'd be depressed and all that. But no, he's just freaking enjoying his life. Like he's just
happy.
He's done everything you could want to do, and he just wants to see the next person do the next best thing. And he's just like drinking his days away. Not really away, but drinking to pass time in his days.
Well, he probably can't get drunk.
Probably not. Tolerance so damn high.
Yeah. Well, not just that, is like his body's like strong as hell. Like he swam like several miles at 70 something.
Oh yeah.
So he's strong as fuck.
I also like how, which of course at this point it's like a cliche moment, but just how everybody who, you know, upon Luffy and them getting ready to leave with the Marines chasing and stuff, literally everybody who had helped them in their training helped them get out in some way. I thought that was cool because I ain't noticed that until I watched it my second way through, and now it's like, bro, like it's a good touch because you inspect it, especially like with area, how they just helped all of a sudden. Just, you know, we're just gonna turn some rain on, and that's how they helped.
Oh yeah, and they're just like, we can't use lightning because we don't want to hit civilians.
Yeah.
Or like Heracles and brings up 2 beetles and a mantis.
Yeah.
Which are the things that helped Usopp train.
Yeah.
What's it called? We learned Kuma literally fought in 2 or 3 wars.
Yeah, literally the whole time.
2 years.
For 2 entire years, this dude did nothing but fight. So nobody could take the Sunny.
The how it fought was also special because he asked Vegapunk before he got taken over completely, or after he got taken over completely.
That's foreshadowing.
Give him his a command to protect the Sunny until they come back.
Later.
Well, no, they say it in the manga.
Really?
That Egghead specifically programmed him to be there until the first Straw Hat shows up.
Egghead? Hold on.
They don't say Egghead, they say Vegapunk. Yeah. It specifically says Vegapunk programmed him to watch over it.
That's not good.
Where's it at?
That's not good. Please show me that. That's not good.
Where is it at? Gotta see him talk about it. So, yeah, there's something I have to tell everyone. Fortunately, no, we at the bottom of, but he suffered several injuries. They're talking about Hachi defending the Thousand Sunny, and there was another warrior, the man who blew us all away a year ago, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. A few days ago, when I returned to the city, I couldn't believe my eyes. I've been waiting for you. And it shows him like absolutely effed up. What are you doing here? Mission complete. Sunny didn't have a scratch on her. Rayleigh told me. Told Rayleigh I don't, but blackmailing him to, like, they think it was blackmailing. But he had Dr. Vegapunk, the man who modified him, promised to program him one last mission to defend the ship until one of the Straw Hats has returned. Yeah. That's a great piece of foreshadowing, though.
Yeah. Oh no, it's even deeper because he just said that the way you said it was like the New Age where you knew everything. Nah, that's okay.
It's he specifically tells Frankie that like this was part of his mission was to tell, or he specifically tells Rayleigh the plan to protect the Straw Hat ship, and Rayleigh tells Frankie the plan. Yeah.
But the thing about it is why I said it wasn't good at first, because it was like Because the thing about it, if it happened exactly the way you had said it, then people going off and assuming, for as long as the story went on, to assume that Vegapunk was a bad person would have been the dumbest shit ever. But no, he didn't say all of
but also,
was like that.
Frankie makes sure to point out that that's why even without any of the memories these last 2 years, he fulfilled the command and waited for us.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But no, that's... When you think about Kuma and everything, like I can't wait for the anime to, animate his backstory, but for us to cover it, it's gonna be like that's gonna be the one. Like I cried real tears reading that freaking backstory.
I'm ready for the One Piece version of it to get there with Wet Studio.
That'll be a while.
That's probably gonna look so good though.
That'll be a while.
Yeah.
And I hope it even gets to that point where they're gonna get there, but yeah.
And then after that, they go under the water
for the first time.
They fight a kraken. They save a shark in a t-shirt. That's not a joke. That happens. They meet Caribou. Caribou's like a crazy person that just wants to kill people, who has a Logia that sounds OP because it's mud. But he uses it like a friggin' idiot, so we don't know if it's actually OP. But when you hear it, it sounds OP.
Caribou's character wouldn't even utilize it anyway in its full power.
Like, when it's like you describe it, it sounds OP because he can hold an infinite amount of stuff inside of his body.
Literally, Caribou's character would never use it to its best potential. Yeah. I actually, like...
The only interesting thing he does with it is drown the person.
Yeah. He does it to fake Sanji. I actually think, like, really, realistically, because like I said, Caribou's not going to use it to its full potential. I think Blackbeard, because, right now, Caribou's with Blackbeard, and he's trying to give him all the information that he basically got from Straw Hats all this time, and I think Whitebeard's going to get that information and then take his devil fruit and kill him. Blackbeard, yeah. Blackbeard, get his devil fruit. No, you said Whitebeard. Blackbeard, get his devil fruit, take the information, and then kill him. Like, it just makes sense because whoever he could give that devil fruit to would benefit him in the best way possible. And I don't see him taking care of him.
Imagine if, is it Pika? Or not Pika, who's the dude, Pizarro? Is that the one with the island fruit?
Yeah.
Like, imagine if he could have both of those powers. Like, he has the power of controlling an island, but he's also a living island. That'd be kind of nuts.
I mean, dude, that's basically the same thing.
But he has to be like it doesn't do anything when you're on a ship. But if you had the swamp fruit and you're a Logia, I wonder if he can do that to the person with the swamp fruit. I don't know. Devil fruits are weird. There's no telling. But when he fights the Kraken, he hits him with the elephant gun, which is Luffy's new finisher move for about 4 weeks. 4 or 5 weeks. Until he gets Kongun. I think we got 6 or 7 weeks until Kongun.
But that's a long time from now. You ain't got to talk about that.
But elephant gun, it's basically he uses Gear 3 and imbues it with Haki. And he knocks the Kraken out. And then he ends up befriending the Kraken because the Kraken, I guess he respects anybody that can beat him. So he never got beaten before. We meet the big baby giant fishman guy.
Watasumi.
The Kraken beats up Watasumi. Vanderdecken shows up. We don't see what Vanderdecken looks like, but he's pretending to be Davy Jones on the Flying Dutchman. And that's where it ends. Yep, there's not a crazy amount to cover this week. The whole I'm so weak stuff was good character moments because we see Luffy finally understanding he has to be more than he is.
Yeah, him transferring from the camel to the lion.
We see him go from the camel to the lion.
That's literally, you look at it from the greatest stand, literally him going from saying he's so weak to literally like exploiting one of the biggest strengths we see in between, Impel Down, Marineford, him going through another big like revelation in himself and seeing AIDS die and realize he has to put the piece together. Also then realizing he's so weak, but also realizing he has enough pieces to get stronger. And this is the point in which we see him literally immerse himself in getting stronger. And like as we see more of from this point, as the story tends to unfold more, a lot of his obstacles get a little bit more troublesome, like as they go. Even though like a lot of people probably wouldn't see it as like that, because most people think Caesar's a wash. But Caesar versus the difficulty from Horty to Caesar to then Doflamingo is astronomical.
Well, there's also Thelgo or Welgo.
Yeah, but that's a part of, that's really for law. That was for law to deal with, Virgo.
But we don't know that.
Yeah.
Till it happens. But yeah, that's it for this week, guys. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if there's anything that you noticed that we didn't, or any disagreements you got. All that good stuff.
Anything at all.
And this is, a yawn. I've been corrupted.
And this is the dragon.